Number 1. In the example, were more girls or boys surveyed? How many more? So if we look at the row for girls, there was a total of 60. In the row for boys, there was a total of 58. So more girls were surveyed, and there are 2 more girls surveyed than boys. Number 2, which activity did a greater percent of the girls choose? Which activity did a greater percent of the boys choose? A greater percent of the girls chose skiing. You can see that from the 56.7 versus 43.3. And a greater percent of the boys chose sledding at 60.3 and 39.7. Number 3, does the data in the example support the idea that both the girls and the boys prefer skiing to sledding? Explain. No, because while girls prefer skiing, 56.7% compared to the 43.3%, boys prefer sledding. They had a 60.3% versus the 39.7%. Number 4, complete the relative frequency table to show the percent to the nearest tenth of each age group that do and do not watch animated movies. So we take our fraction just like they set up, 44 over the total 60, and divide and times 100 and get 73.3%. We're going to do the same thing, except we have to remember to use our totals down across the bottom. So I do 32 divided by 52 times 100 gives me 61.5%. I do 20 divided by 52 times 100 gives me 38.5%. For 15 to 16, I'm going to do 39 divided by the total 75 times 100 is going to give me 52%. 36 divided by 75 gives me 48%. And for 17 to 18, I'm going to do 15 divided by the total 60, which is going to give me 25. And 45 divided by 60, which gives me 75%. All across the bottom, the 100s should be the total because it's 100%. Number 5, use the relative frequency table in problem 4 to determine if there is an association between age and watching animated movies. Explain. Yes, there is an association. A greater percent of the younger students watch animated movies. As students get older, the percent of students who do not watch animated movies increases. What that means is the younger you are, the more likely you are to watch an animated movie. If you look for 11 to 12-year-olds, watching animated movies was 73.3%. The older students, 17 to 18, at 75% do not watch animated movies. Number 6, instead of finding the relative frequencies based on age group, Ahadi found the relative frequencies based on whether they watch movies or not. Complete Ahadi's table. Can you draw the same conclusions using Ahadi's table that you drew in problem 5? Explain. So instead of using the totals at the bottom, we're going to use the totals on the right-hand side. So that'd be 44 over 130, which is 33.8%. So we're going to do 16 divided by 117 times 100 to get 13.7%. 32 divided by 130 is going to give me 24.6%. 20 divided by 117 is going to give me 17.1%. 39 divided by 130 is going to give me 30%. 36 divided by 117 is going to give me 31.8%. And 15 divided by 130 gives me 11.5%. And 45 divided by 117 is going to give me 38.5% for a total of 100%. Again, the answer is yes. Out of the total number of people who watched animated movies, the majority were younger. Out of the total number of people who did not watch animated movies, the majority were older. So drawing the same conclusion, the largest percentage of animated movies was 33.8, which is the younger group. The largest percentage of people that do not watch animated movies is the older group at 38.5. So yes, the same conclusion can be drawn.